In this video, we're going to go over how SQC initiates the process once the client reaches out to us. This is relative to our out-of-basement projects and our new build projects. The steps that we're going to go through in this video include the initial client consultation to the preliminary revision of their dream home or their ADU, their floor plan, their proposed style of home. We'll then create a initial estimate to kind of give them an idea of like, hey, this is what you're talking about. This is roughly what it's going to cost. From there, we will make sure they're okay with those initial cost estimates. We'll pass our information that we collected with them to our architect. The architect will then put it in a CAD file, allowing us to do revisions, tweak things quickly. From there, we'll start our revision process. This could be 4 revisions, this could be 20 revisions. As we hit milestones along those revisions, we will revise the estimate so that the client is up to date on how their changes are reflected in the cost. From there, we will finalize the plans, get their sign off, pass the finalized plans on to our tradespeople. Mike will then finalize the estimate. Once they're happy with the estimate and the finalized plans, we will get sign off, pass it on to engineer. Once the engineers returned all the stamped documents, we'll do a plan revision with the local building department. Once we finish that plan revision, we will submit the plans for permit. As the permit is being reviewed, Mike will begin initial scheduling the homeowner with the interior designer. Once the permit is approved, the homeowner will have a schedule reflecting proposed start date, proposed completion date of the first stage. And then as we progress along the project, Mike will provide a second stage of the job to completion of the project. So usually once the client reaches out to us, we collect some information, set up an initial consultation where they'll come into our office, go over the entire scope of their project, how many bedrooms they'd like, how many bathrooms they'd like, would they like a rancher, would they like a 2-story house, all the relative aspects of the process so that way we can provide them with a preliminary estimate. Part of that process is going to be determining whether you want a basement, whether you want a crawl space, type of construction, going over minimal finish selections. We usually do a pretty good job at providing the client with a nice allowance or budget, depending on if they want to go with tile, LVP, hardwood. That's all part of our initial consultation, just getting a little bit of an understanding of the style of the house that they would like to do. That way we can work on our preliminary estimate before we go into the architectural phase. It's nice to get some numbers before spending a bunch of money on architectural and engineering. That way we can make sure we're moving in the right direction and we don't have to go backwards a lot. After the initial consultation and all the information collected, I'll pass that on to Mike. He's our project manager, and he will begin the takeoff initial estimate process. What does that look like?
Once I get the information from Luke that he gathers from the homeowners, I take that back and he said I do the takeoff, so calculating square footages of all the rooms, the house in general, linear footage of baseboard, casing for windows and doors, and then based off of just prior experience, projects we've done, trades that we've worked with, we have a general idea of what those things are going to cost. So we put that into the estimate and then formalize it for the client to look over. And then once they look over it, we usually meet with them. We'll send it to them ahead of time so they can review it and kind of get their questions down. And then we'll meet with them. And a lot of things that come out of that are, I don't want LVP throughout the house. I'd rather go hardwood. And that's where the discussion kind of becomes, that's going to increase your price depending on the homeowner. Sometimes they're okay with that. Sometimes it's the opposite where we might have hardwood and they see the price and they're like, hey, let me see what LVP looks like. Same with tile or any type of flooring or material really in general. A lot of times we throw in kind of, I would say, mid-range options for the client, and then they can either stick with that or they know they have room to go up or down. Doors and windows are usually a big one. There's a big gap in pricing with doors and windows, so you give someone the middle of the road and they're like, whoa, that's already looking a little high. We know we need to drop that down.
Then Michael create an introduction with the architect. What does that look like?
Usually once the homeowner finalizes, like Luke said, the estimate, or not finalizes, but okays us to move forward, I will send all the information we have, not really the selections as much, but the floor plan to the architect. And what he does is puts it into a CAD file, makes it really easy to make future revisions, get a bigger 2-scale picture of what the property is going to look like. Then after he has time to kind of get that initial one done, we set up a meeting with the client and the architect. And that's kind of the beginning of what we call the revision stage. That'll either be at our office or the architect's office. And we'll sit down with the client. He'll have a full plan print like this here. Kind of helps the homeowner visualize what this is going to look like. A lot of changes come out of those meetings. Some homeowners are 3 revisions. They're happy and this is what they want and thought of in their head. And some are 20 revisions later, moving walls, doors, adding rooms, taking away rooms. And then once those revisions hopefully get finalized sooner rather than later, the architect will pass it on to the engineer who has to do all of the structural work and stuff like that. And then get that stamped by an engineer, signed off final plans by the architect. And that's kind of the end of that phase. Sounds a lot quicker than it is. It's usually a couple of months of that. But that is the process kind of just over and over again. Revision 1 might have 4 changes. Revision 2 might have 3 new changes plus reverting back an old change or something like that.
And I think something to keep in mind is we don't charge for revisions. As Mike said, some of our clients, it's 4 to 5 revisions. Some of our clients are 20 revisions. We don't charge for revisions. The architect doesn't charge for revisions. We understand that we are building a custom house. None of our houses are, hey, you have to do it this way. You have to follow this set floor plan. I mean, we're designing them from scratch every single time. We get it takes time. We worked for you. We're going to do what you want us to do. And if it takes a couple months to do these revisions, we're not charging for all these additional revisions, all the additional time that we have to put in with you, because we want to make sure that once the process starts and we start doing walkthroughs, you're really happy with the way everything's turning out and we're not changing things as the project goes. Okay, so as we progress through the plans, the architect will initially just draw in floor plans. As we progress through the revisions, he will then kind of make an initial plan set. It's not stamped by the engineer yet. We kind of wait until plans are finalized to do that. But when he provides us with a more detailed plan set, it'll have all the measurements on it, finishes, exterior elevations. It'll show kind of like what type of material we want to do on the exterior. Mike will then take this plan set, start passing it on to our tradespeople, trying to get closer to that final number.
Yeah, I think honestly, when the plans get to this stage where our architect provides the elevation, not only is it just elevations, it's a good view of what the home is going to look like. And that really, a lot of homeowners are kind of like, okay, it's starting to make even more sense. You know, before it was just the interior floor plan. Now we have, okay, this is what your home is going to look like. A lot of times this initial, like the siding and where there's stone, the type of roof, that is just generic for the time being. But yeah, once I have this set of plans, it also would include framing plans for the roof and the home itself. I can start sending it to the trades. Once I send the plans there, it just gives them an idea to give me a much more accurate quote on each category. And then I can, again, go back to revising that estimate for the client and kind of saying like, this is the number. Like that, a much more defined, this is the number. We're usually pretty close. Again, the biggest thing that changes is changes made by the homeowner. Those are the biggest jumps. Other than that, it's really not going to be a big increase.
So once we get final approval on the estimate and the client releases the drawings to be passed on to our engineer, we will pass the drawings on to our engineer. We will get engineering completed. We'll get our equipment certificates, we'll get our heat calculations, we will do an initial plan review with the building department, depending on what county you're in. We like to do that just before submittal, kind of streamlines the process, make sure the planning department's happy with everything. Mike will then submit all the documentation for permitting based on the county we're in. We know kind of how long it's going to take for that permit to get reviewed and approved. Mike will start with the first stage of construction schedule, and he'll provide that to the client.
Yeah, so when we start scheduling, we typically do it in 2 stages or 2 phases. First one being rough construction. That would be, drywall, obviously the foundation first, drywall, all the utilities roughed in, all that kind of stuff, all the way up through insulation. And it just allows us to keep the client kind of updated live, in the loop, know what to expect. They know if we're on schedule or not. And then once we get close to installation, pretty much end of framing, we do a walkthrough with all the trades, gives them all the chance to line out where everything's going, If the homeowner sees something during that stage, like, hey, this isn't what I expected it to look like, we can make changes on the fly there. And then we would shift to the finishings phase of scheduling, where I would schedule out the rest of the process of interior finishes, flooring, drywall, paint, doors, all the plumbing fixtures, toilets, all that kind of stuff is kind of in that second phase, trying to keep it to the schedule as best as possible and keep the homeowner involved and updated throughout the entire process, not just, hey, we're starting today and we'll be done in 6 months. A lot of people don't want that to be out there like that. They just kind of want more of the in-the-loop communication. During that phase, once enough of the selections are made, the interior designer puts together a color board. And it, again, just a tool to help the client visualize this is what it's going to look like if you go with these selections, making sure they're happy with the way things look, making sure things tie together well, all the paint colors and flooring colors, furniture, the whole thing. She kind of just really helps them along the process and the finishing aspect of the home.
And I think one thing I like to elaborate on with our clients when it comes to the interior designer is they're not there to design your house for you. They absolutely can. We've had situations in the past where our clients really enjoy working with the interior designer. It may be a rental property, maybe not their primary residence, and they just kind of give the interior designer full reign. Some of our clients are like, oh, we don't need an interior designer. Da, 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 da. Like you need the interior designer. It's built into our cost, whether she's involved extensively or whether she has minimal involvement. She, again, is there as a resource for you to use.
Just to add to that, even if you're a client that doesn't want to use the interior designer, we utilize the interior designer while going through the process of building your home.
So if you're looking to do an extensive remodel to your home, an addition, or build a new house, and you have any further questions regarding this video, please reach out and we'd be happy to go over things in more detail and hopefully provide you with an estimate.